What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're checking out the MBRP Armor Black dual rear exit exhaust system fitting all 2019 and newer 5.7 liter Ram 1500s. Now if you're looking to turn some heads with your Ram and create an aggressive presence to your 5.7 liter, this system will do that while not completely breaking the bank when doing it. Now as you heard from the sound clip, with MBRP's race profile, the volume will increase substantially, getting a 4 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being Wake the Neighbors loud. While this won't break the sound barrier completely, this will be heard in the cab when you do get on it, with some aggressive burbles and a throaty note, while still being comfortable when cruising if you don't mind a little extra interior noise in exchange for an aggressive system. The design of this system with the streamlined straight-through style muffler will take away a lot of the restriction that the factory exhaust previously had. Now in turn, this is going to give the truck a lot of character, with a head-turning volume and deep note accentuating the aggressiveness of the V8 while not being too raspy or having much drone. While this isn't necessarily a power mod, the nature of this exhaust with a streamlined airflow will introduce some performance gains, but don't expect much. But paired with other performance mods, this will be sure to help. This will be made of a thick gauge aluminum steel construction, which is a step up from factory, being durable and on the more affordable side of the spectrum as far as materials are concerned. Now the series by MBRP will also include a high heat black powder coating on the tailpipes and the tips, protecting the exhaust and extending that lifespan, and also adding a more aggressive appearance to the back and the portion of the exhaust that you can see as well, kind of get a peek of. Now while the tips will have the same black appearance, they will be made of a top tier 304 stainless steel, so even if you do scratch those tips up and expose the stainless, they won't rust or corrode. Now this will cost you roughly $875, and while it's not the most affordable system, it will definitely save you some cash compared to other choices. One of the reasons being is the no-frill construction with a streamlined system and a more affordable aluminized steel material. Now while it's not made of the expensive materials you might see, the steel, especially with the black coating, will do well underneath your truck, and the system will be one of the more aggressive exhausts in the category. So if you want that head-turning sound and want to save a few bucks on your build, you can't go wrong with this kit. Install will be 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it should only take you about 2 hours to get the job done. Now at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how to get this onto your Ram at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact and ratchet, a 16, 15, 13, and 8mm Allen socket, safety glasses, pry bar, exhaust hanger tool, tape measure, die grinder, marker, type of grease, and lubricating fluid. Also not shown would be a cutting tool and a lift and pull jacks. All right, today we're going to be installing an exhaust on our Ram. First we're going to watch a quick video how to install a stock system, and then we're going to come back here to install a new one.
First step here, we're going to grab our hanger removal tool and pop the hanger off right above our resonator on our passenger side tailpipe. The driver's side tailpipe is one piece all the way back to the muffler inlet, so we're going to attack that later. So for right now, we're going to do this, and I've lubricated it with WD-40. That makes life a little bit easier. All right, next step, grab your ratchet and your 15mm deep socket, and we're going to loosen up the clamp holding the tailpipe to the rest of the exhaust assembly. All right, hanger's out of position, clamp is loosened up. Let's get this exhaust pipe off. All right, so at this point, we're gonna focus on our driver's side tailpipe. Now, like I said, it's all one piece. I have a pull jack here right behind the resonator just to give it some support once we start disconnecting things. I am gonna remove this tip, however. Removing this tip gives you another foot, maybe foot and a few inches of extra space that you don't have to worry about feeding out of the frame. So we're gonna take this guy off with a 13mm socket. Next, we can pop the hanger out of the isolator using our hanger removal tool right above that resonator. All right, so now we can disconnect the hangers right above the muffler outlet. There's one on each side. Grab your hanger removal tool and get these guys off. Now, as you can see, I have a pull jack here supporting this as well, so we have two different points of support for this exhaust. Now for this one, it's tough to get the hanger removal tool in here, so I'm going to use my pry bar to get this guy off. All right, so next up, we're gonna focus on this flange here. Now you could bypass this and go straight back to the cat, but that's a lot of exhaust to take off in one piece, so I'm gonna separate it here. Now, once we have this taken care of, there is one more hanger to remove, but for now, grab your 16mm socket and disconnect these two bolts. All right, now when you pop this guy out of the hanger isolator, this is all gonna come loose, so you wanna be prepared for that. Before we do so, there's a ground strap here. I'm just gonna disconnect that from the factory tubing. All right, so that way it dangles here and we can reconnect it to our new exhaust later. So now we can grab our hanger removal tool and pop that guy off. All right, now you can take this exhaust off.
All right, so our new exhaust does come past our back flange, so we need to take our front flange and resonator pipe out. So we're gonna grab our impact and 15mm socket and take our two nuts off our front flange. All right, now for our new front pipe with our flange. Now this exhaust system does fit multiple different trucks. So since we have a crew cab short box, we have to cut ours down. So you're gonna measure from the front flange to about here to about 30.75 inches. So just grab our tape measure and our Sharpie, just mark it up. All right, and it makes it easier. You can just make marks going all the way around so that you can make a perfect line. So it just makes it easier. So now we're gonna go to our chop saw, cut that off. Just make sure you bring your safety glasses, and then we're gonna come back in here and clean up our metal. All right, now we got our pipe cut to our proper size. We're gonna take our die grinder and just clean up our edges so we don't have any sharp edges, so we get a nice good seal with our clamps. All right, now before we start installing our new exhaust, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our isolators. We're gonna grab some grease. We're just gonna grease up where the hangers will go in the isolators. It's just gonna make the installation a little bit easier. All right, you just go ahead and do that for the rest of the isolators through the system. All right, now we're gonna put our front pipe on with the flare. Now our flange does come separate, so you need to slide that over first. Just make sure that you will see that the one side is beveled. That goes towards the flange. Just gonna slide that over and we're just gonna loosely install the nuts that we took off. All right, we just let that hang and we're gonna install the next section now. All right, now we're gonna put our next section on. We're gonna take our first 3-inch clamp, slide that over, slide our next section on with our hanger here. So we're just gonna slide that over and just stick it in our hanger. And then while we're here, we can also put our second 3-inch clamp over, and then we can install our muffler. All right, now as you can see, we do have a pull jack in place just to help hold the muffler up. So we're gonna grab our muffler and slide it over our front pipe. All right, next we're gonna go to our driver's side section out of our muffler. We're gonna put our clamp up first and then feed our pipe over our axle. We're gonna put it in the muffler and then we can put it in our hanger. All right, next we're gonna put our passenger side section on so we have our clamp over. And we're gonna feed it up over our axle like we did the other one. Put it in our muffler and then feed it into our hanger. All right, next we're gonna do our back passenger section. So we're gonna get our clamp, put it over. Feed it up over our axle. Into our pipe that came out of the muffler. And then into our hanger. All right, so now we're gonna come back to our driver's side rear section. So we're gonna put our clamp over first. And then it's gonna slide into the pipe that came out of the muffler. All right, and then you can put it in your hanger. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start at the front of the vehicle, working our way backwards and tightening and adjusting our clamps as we need. All right, we're gonna start at our front flange, so we're gonna grab our impact and 15mm socket and tighten our 2 nuts down. All right, now we're gonna tighten our 2 3-inch clamps before our muffler. So the same thing, impact and 15mm socket. All right, now we have our 2 clamps coming out of our muffler. All right, and then we have our last 2 clamps over our axle. All right, so now we're gonna put our tip on. Slide that over, adjust it where you want, and then we're gonna grab our impact and 8mm Allen socket and tighten it down. All right, you just go ahead and do the same thing for the other tip.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the MBRP Armor Black dual rear exit exhaust system, fitting all 2019 and newer 5.7 liter Ram 1500s. And you can find this right here at AmericanTrucks.com.